Hello, hello. It's been 1 second, Sir Cerro. One measly second. Let a guy show up. How's it going? Sorry I'm late. I am just like hard obsessing on this project of mine in a big, big way. Big, 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 big way. Last I talked about it, I was agonizing over the journey because I could see that the journey is long. And that hasn't changed, but I have made more progress. It's like I said, like I'm keeping up the duality of both like being in despair and still actually progressing in spite of the despair. Like I've got some seriously cool shit now, but there's so fucking much more to do still. So fucking much more. I don't want to overhype it, but I do feel like this will probably be one of the coolest like presentational things I've done for the stream in a long time. Ember Lily, welcome to the cohorts. Thank you for that sub. And Sith, thank you for 99 months. Ipa, thank you for 58 months. Very, very much appreciated. But yeah, it's a long list of things that remain to do, unfortunately. I'm excited to do them, but like, ugh. I'm not even really to the fun part necessarily. I kind of cleaned up half of the code, I would say. So I feel all right about that. Or at least reorganized it. Cleaned up is a little bit of a strong description. Of course, this whole thing might be dumb and I just have like blinders on because I'm having fun with it. I'm glad things are better now. That's good to hear. And welcome back. Thank you. I always have a little bit of a existential crisis about them because I feel like I've put a lot of effort into like just dressing up the stream, which is not at the end of the day it feels like it's weird to put this amount of effort into what amounts to like bookends. Does that make any sort of sense? Huge effort, small payoff. Yeah, I remember. I believe I remember a name of Vorath. Thank you, thank you. I think you'll like it. Shit, I forgot to grab a water. Damn it. So, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to try to get the rest of the endings in the Slay the Princess demo. Is it weird to fall in love with a demo? I can't wait for this game. Black Tabby has like shot up to one of my favorite developers very quickly. Just one eye? That sounds like all of you is tired, including the other eye except for one. And the one is like ready to get up. And just your eye gets up. It does all the full motions as though it's still in your head, but it gets up on its own. So it like leans up, sits on the edge of the bed. Finally gets up, walks off. It's creepy, and I'm upset that I described this out loud. Mario Kart was fucking fun today. I hope we do more. I feel like there was some pretty funny shit, yeah. Nobody shared a single damn clip, though. I couldn't believe it. Breaking Fedrin was quite funny. I'm really bad about that. Like, if I manage to corner someone into like that they've lost their shit, I have a tendency to try to like continue to push that further. I don't know what that is. I will kill you with laughter. You're trapped now. I've got you in the corner. Non-contact tickling. Fitty Cal, thank you for 51 months. Oh god. And every stupid plateau I reach with this project, I just want to show you guys so bad. Because I feel like it would be fun to build it together too. But I got to keep it under my hat. I just got to keep trucking. I think it's hard to get on a good roll like that, so I try to, I don't know, I try to milk it when it happens, I guess. But what Fedrin said there was honestly just funny as fuck to me. Like, she just described nothing. She was just like, there's two ladies and they kiss. I'm like, cool. Every episode? Huh? Amazing. What a great show. She just couldn't manage to get the actual description out because I was terrorizing her. Yeah, Justin shouldn't have revealed his uh-huh, because now it's suspect every time he says uh-huh. Got to call him out every single time. Also, I could have sworn that I had told everybody the bird explosion story before. But hey, squeezing some extra use out of an old story is fine, I guess. I know I told you guys. I probably talked about it on the stream that very night that it happened, even. No, actually, never mind. That predated stream. That was a long time ago. Probably would have been in my early YouTube days, but not in my Twitch days. maybe I did. Who knows? I mean, for real, this is a real thing that happened, and I also had zero time to react. There was literally nothing I could do because it was basically pitch black outside. I had the headlights on, but I would say that I noticed this thing. And by the way, fucking cranes or herons or whatever they're creepily shaped and really fucking tall when they're just like straight up and down. So when I did first notice something, I would say it was probably like 5 fucking feet in front of us by the time I saw it. And also, it looked like a goddamn cryptid. I remember bracing because I didn't know what was happening. And then just feathers. So I don't know what I could have done about that. I'm glad I didn't like overreact and kill all of us. Myself, the bird, and Naomi. All just dead. No car damage. That thing didn't have any staying power. Like I said, it was like hitting a pillow. It was vaporized on impact. Really, really like horrifying, honestly. Just horrifying. Yeah, they're made out of like twigs and leaves and shit. Birds. They don't they got no they don't have any fortitude, you know? Hollow bones. I did learn that birds aren't real because they're cartoons. They got no heft. They can, yeah. I had that happen for some reason at the last house that we rented. I guess a particular window was facing a particular direction in such a way that it was just a bird magnet. And this just pile of dead birds was forming. I don't know why not only do they not notice the window, they don't notice the fucking apocalyptic bird cemetery just beneath the window, but there you go. They were made for the air and nothing else. Dusty outline of an owl. That's cartoonish as well. I recall Louis C.K. had a bit exactly like what you just said, Ipa, like word for word, nearly. Not saying, not saying that you're like stealing it. I think a lot of people have that experience with deer. You to Louis C.K., but I have to say that, like, unfortunately, before that happened, I had built up a library of extremely funny shit that he said. I don't want to. I don't want to watch anything new from him. But his jokes were genuinely funny back in the day. He's gone down the fucking basically like whiny comedian road. Sucks. Sucks big. Fudge, thank you for that gift sub. Bill Burr is very fucking funny, and he also threads a really weird needle. He seems like just the vibe that you get from him, his attitude, his whole like sort of demeanor. I would have definitely bet on him turning into a sort of fucking more of a Joe Rogan type guy. But he's actually quite the fuck. He's like the voice of reason against people like Joe Rogan, which is lovely. Which, by the way, if you've never seen the clip of Bill Burr and Joe Rogan talking, and Bill just sort of casually dismantling Joe Rogan, if you can tolerate it, I recommend tolerating it for long enough to watch that video. It's extremely good. He really does. Well, like the thing that happens with Joe is that he'll have guests on, and most people will just sort of bend themselves to Joe's bullshit, right? Just to be sort of like cordial or to fit in or to have like not to have an argument or whatever. But Bill Burr doesn't really give a fuck. And yeah, he just basically dismantles Joe piece by piece to his face, and it's fucking hilarious. And it also isn't really, it's not like an argument or a fight or anything. He's just so good at what he fucking does. The ex-scout, I don't remember the like what the character was, but he was the leader of the sort of shitheads. He was the leader of the shitheads. I don't know whether Bill Burr is the highlight or motherfucking Richard Iowati as the goddamn bug robot. It's a hard choice. It's a total toss up for me. Yeah, Richard Iowati is that goddamn fucking bug robot voice. It's so great. I fucking love him, by the way. I love him so much. Yeah, Mandalorian was pretty good. Sucks about that one lady, because I actually really liked her character in the show, but she went. Some people fall farther than others, I guess I'll say. Some people fall all the way down, and she's one of them. I didn't know her before Mandalorian. I'm just saying I liked her character in the show. Like, something about it clicked for me. I liked the vibe of the dynamic of the sort of squad that developed over the course of the season or seasons or whatever. Shit, have I even watched the second season? I think I did. And that's, you know, that's all it is for me. It was just, I'm sad that the character is dead and she killed it. She strangled it to death. It's gone now. But at least she did it in a funny point and laugh sort of way. There's always that, because now she she can't get like good jobs anymore. So now she can only do those stupid fucking Daily Wire movies. Which, if anybody's looking for a fucking rabbit hole, ooh-wee. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, truly. I will say they're sort of unfortunately kind of bland-ish. They don't quite go as far as you would want them to for it to be more funny, I guess I'll say. It's a mixed bag. I just feel bad for Tommy Wiseau. I feel like that guy's whole existence is completely just someone else's joke. But I guess he capitalized off of it, so. Hello.
You say no.
I'm just shooting the shit still.
Okay. I'll go away before I say something. I wasn't supposed to. Well, I almost said it out loud.
Well, I have to get a water, so I'll do that now. I'll be right back, y'all. Hey, all right. Sorry about that. I am back. Got my water. My water. My water. There's a joke conspiracy theory that Tommy Wiseau is DB Cooper. That's such a fun story. And it's weird how, like, I didn't know about the DB Cooper story until a YouTube video. I think it was a Let Me Know video. He did an excellent little video essay thing. That's another YouTuber that needs to make videos more often than once every couple of years. And that's how I learned about DB Cooper. And it's super interesting. And then I noticed that, like, that whole DB Cooper thing is, like, woven into mainstream stuff pretty often in an invisible way, like people referencing it and shit. So much more often than I ever would have known. It's so bizarre. It was like I plugged into the Matrix and discovered, oh shit, everybody knows about DB Cooper. They're referencing it all the time. I know. All my favorite YouTubers. Apparently, distance truly makes the heart grow fonder. It's like my favorite YouTubers don't upload videos. Essentially, is what it is. Walker, what I have learned is that it doesn't mean shit. It does not mean shit. That is the secret. Fuck. All I need to do, all I need to fucking do is throw together a goddamn video essay and float it out there, right? I mean, it's been shit 4 or 5 years since I put anything out. Straight to the top, baby. Straight to the top. Yeah, all my favorites are like that. Xbox Ahoy. I loved his most recent video about XCOM. I was actually at first I was a little sad. I was like, oh, XCOM? I never really played that. I don't know if I'm gonna be into this or whatever. And then I ate it up. And in fact, I watched it 4 times in full, I think. I don't know what it was, but I found it like so inspiring because I was that was right when I was digging into doing this game stuff, and I'm like in the midst of just being really obsessed with that, and the video goes really in deep into the processes behind the development of XCOM and stuff, That's one of those things that I think is, apart from people like documenting this stuff like Xbox Ahoy does, that kind of gets lost with time. There's probably more people now that give a shit about modern XCOM than there are that people that maybe even ever played the originals. But for those of us that were on the road with a lot of these franchises from like when they started to today, and I mean, I'm not one of them for XCOM, but I am for other things. This history is just slowly dissipating, It's evaporating away. It's a weird feeling. I talked about this before with stuff like I've had a tendency to think about sort of the arc of video games from my own perspective. Obviously, it makes sense that you're going to look at things from your own damn perspective, but I've had sort of moments of clarity where I've realized like there's probably more people who play video games right now who like have no knowledge of it and don't have anything close to that same sort of perspective on it, They don't have the same through line. This might be one of those things that's only interesting to me. It's just like it doesn't really come up often, but like how do I mean? How can I fucking explain it? Well, so my personal arc through video games is like I tend to think of it from the perspective of Nintendo consoles and the Mario franchise and other similar, nearish things to that. And for me, it was like, NES, Game Boy, Super Nintendo, N64, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, so on. And you develop this sort of internal narrative that there's like a through line, like almost like there's a destination in the future somehow. That as though there's a collective knowledge that's always being carried forward and forward and forward. And there is, but it's not necessarily aligned with whatever your personal view of it is. And where I really started to notice this was that when we reached the plateau of graphics that were kind of at, I mean, not, there's still far more we can do, obviously. I'm not saying like this is the end of graphics or something. But when we hit a certain level, like, I don't know, 10 years ago-ish, maybe even a little earlier than that, I started to notice that things like releases and paradigms and ideas and stuff started to seem so much more cyclical to me than they did in the past. So like in my earlier days of video gaming, it felt like everything was new each generation, and within the generations there was just like new idea, and expansion, more innovation, crazy new stuff. And it just kind of felt like that was always how it was going to be. And then it, at some point, to me, started to feel like it's like we hit a ceiling or something. And that just became more and more and more rare, and predominantly like repetition of the same stuff is more dominant. But yeah, I mean, I am describing my own like perspective and my own internal narrative of shit. But I also, mulled over the ideas of like, well, is it because like all these other threads have come into it that start at different positions, later positions, where they don't have all the history of like what was a big deal, generations 3, 4, 5, 6 or whatever, that their expectations are different because of that. Their ideas are different because of that. I wonder what the video game interests and experiences are of the people who make video games today on a majority level. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it mostly people who are a lot younger than me and their path with video games started in like the 2000s? So they don't really have like, it's not like lesser experiences, it's just different. I'm not trying to set up any sort of gatekeeping thing. I just realized that it could sound that sort of way. I'm not saying like things were better and now they're bad. That's not my perspective here. To be clear, there's lots of great stuff. There's always really great stuff. So I'm not like,
well, nothing's good anymore.
That's not my take here, just to be clear. Like I have often talked about how I felt like particularly the Super Nintendo and the PlayStation 1 were like these extremely Wild West type of situations in their libraries. It felt like there was such a crazy array of ways of approaching video games and video game design. But that was also a time when genre was still being defined in the video game industry, Like survival horror suddenly started to exist around around the era of PlayStation 1. With Alone in the Dark and Resident Evil. It's weird to think that it did not exist before then, but that was how it was. Yeah, Minecraft was a I don't know how to describe it. It was an untapped, unknown thing. To where to the degree that it shifted the entire industry. It's weird. It's weirdly like foundational. That's how impactful it is. I mean, Minecraft is, how do you even quantify that, right? Would you say it's 1,000 times or 10,000 times more influential than Resident Evil? You know what I'm saying? It's weird to think about. More people have played Minecraft since it came out than most video games ever. You think Mario is that big? I don't know if I'd put Mario on that level. Weird as it may sound. I mean, I feel that way personally, but I'm trying to think of like from the mainstream perspective. Well, I guess you didn't have to do as big a numbers to be very impactful back in the day, but the thing is like if you think about it on the grand scale, Minecraft kind of came along, and in terms of reach, Mario absolutely never came close. That is true, but to be honest, I think what the reason is because Mario really was just sort of right place, right time. It was really the NES. Because it's like that thing, really what boomers say, Nee, is, oh, are you playing on your Nintendo? Dad, I'm playing on my Genesis. They just called everything a Nintendo. That's the real thing, because the Nintendo is what brought video games back from the video game crash that Atari caused. There was a huge crash, and people were like, "Yeah, video games are over." It was a weird fad, and then the Nintendo came along, and it was bigger than the previous industry ever even was. So that was really the impactful thing there, and I mean, Mario was bundled with that. So it's hard to say, which thing is, the important factor. Tetris was a really huge big deal. Well, so the reason I say Minecraft is such a big thing is because it was so popular with kids. So massively popular with kids. And much, 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 much more so than Mario was, and I think probably is. Like, I'd have to look up numbers, but I would bet that Minecraft has done more numbers than most of probably all Mario. If we were comparing like game to game, I would guess that Minecraft has probably stomped every single Mario release that's ever come out. Every single one of them. And the reason that that matters is not just one number bigger than other number. It's because of the influence that that has on the industry, how widespread it is. The reach is massive. And the reason that it has that sort of reach is just something sort of weirdly inherent to what Minecraft is. That whole
changeable world, infinite exploration, just the right sort of combination of things that just fascinates so many people the first time they experience it, you know? Yeah. It's hard to get perspective on, and that's kind of what I'm talking about is perspective, because for me, the things that were big to me, I just sort of like presumed they were big in the sort of global way, you know, like the big influential way, big to everybody, you know. Half-Life, you know, yeah, hell yeah. Half-Life and Half-Life mods dominated my life for like 15 years. But that was actually a niche thing. It wasn't like it was a big deal. But if you consider like perspective and influence of things that have happened in gaming, it's a big notch on the sort of, you know, path, but it's relatively small compared to the influence of something like, say, Minecraft. Oh yeah, I was deep into mods. Yeah, I the word notch came out of my mouth and I was like, ah, shit. What a faux pas. I don't even know how we got onto this anymore. This is what y'all are in for as I continue to age and degrade. You're going to be able to send me off into just confusing hours-long rambles. I'll just be babbling. I'll forget where I'm at or why I'm here and then just end the stream. That's our future here. Well, that's a weird screen. Oh, that's my consoles, right? Yeah, so this morning I realized, oh, the console tower isn't hooked up at all in any way, shape, or form. Capture's not set up at all in any way, shape, or form. Oh, my Switch won't charge. Cool. Just nothing was ready. My controller not charged. Nothing. Because I had like my office screwed up for a long time, and then I had disconnected the tower for a while because mainly I was back when I did stuff with the Macintosh, and I had to rearrange things and blah blah blah. So this morning was a little bit of a shit show for me. Unfortunately, my Switch has that stupid thing. I don't know what the fuck is up with that, but like when you have it, or when your Switch has it, what happens is if it goes to sleep, it can never charge again. If it goes to sleep for like too long, I think if the battery runs down, when you put it on the dock again, it just won't charge. It'll sit at 1% and it just doesn't work. And if you try to just run it from the dock, if you can get it to get into the home screen, it will eventually just shut off. But if you hold the power button down for 20 seconds and then turn it on, it'll charge. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. It sucks. This is also my second Switch. Like, the Switches have... For a Nintendo device, the Switches have more problems than I've ever had with any Nintendo device. No, I know it's a hard reset. I looked it up on Nintendo. They said you'll have to do a hard reset. It just gets into a bad state. Well, yeah, because I mean, it's like the Nintendo Switch is really like a sort of a shitty cell phone, right? That's what Nintendo did. I'm very curious what they're gonna do next. They've been, ever since the GameCube, ever since they got burned with the GameCube, they've been like, all right, we're not playing this game anymore, and they just keep. You know, they did the Wii, which was like 2 GameCubes duct taped together or whatever. and then the Wii U, which was like 4 GameCubes duct taped together, and then the Switch which is like a low powered cell phone. So I don't know. I don't have the impression that they're ever going to try to make like competitive hardware again. But what will they do? And they've already been like preempted by the Steam Deck, although that's Valve, so they're like anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes away from abandoning it. So Nintendo will be able to like swoop in at that point. Maybe they can buy the technology from Valve and just call it the Switch U. Yeah. Same brain previous. Do we even have saves? It doesn't even seem like you need to save. Hey, sorry, I know Valve.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Well, it just sort of seems like the whole paradigm that this game works on doesn't really make sense for saving, right? Because it's sort of a death loop. You know, like at what point would you save and what would you be saving? I guess you'd have to, maybe you want to stop in the middle of a section. So we've been the full-on contrarian. We've been full-on compliant. We won the game. I think those are our 3 endings. Then there's 4 more to get, right?
Don't mention it. It's all
Okay,
part
thanks
of
for
the job.
telling me what to do. I actually
You
wonder...
make your way up the short path to the cabin.
Well, we'll see.
You'll find the princess.
I think what we need to do is to try to get farther on with the princess. I don't know if we can.
A warning before you go any further.
Well, we must be able to, because there's got to be some other way to get the endings.
She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking
Sorry, I'm going to skip a lot of this stuff we've already seen. If you haven't seen it, check out the VOD from Thursday night. Setting for what?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely the blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I mean, I could just click to skip. I doubt there would be a setting. Skip. Oh, there is. Skip. Wait, this doesn't make a ton of sense. Unseen text? I don't know what that means. Right, yeah, like I don't know, I guess we'll see. I'm gonna go without the knife. Oh, it just lets me skip unseen text, but
Door to
normally
the
it wouldn't.
basement creaks
That doesn't really help me.
revealing a staircase.
I don't really even want that.
Her voice soft
Hello? Is someone there?
is hypnotizing. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
Oh, this is different already.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
I like the style choice, though, that she gave her these huge giant eyes. I think the point was for her to be as expressive as possible.
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance.
If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
So we've seen this
Is someone
before.
else here?
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to.
Easier for whom?
Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Amazing.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
Is it the knife?
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Or we could use it to free her.
You won't like what happens if you do that. Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm. Just above the unyielding chain, you cut into her. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal.
So we've seen this before, unfortunately.
No, she didn't. She clutches the wound, softly smiling as her gaze meets yours.
Her mouth does have the blood around it, though, from biting her arm, which is different. It's an interesting... and her expression and look are different as well. This is really interesting. I think the way this works is it combines different things together and morphs the results. Yeah, because we made slightly different choices coming into this. Maybe we're not off-road yet, even though that was the same as before.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world.
Okay, now this is still on that road, though. I wonder if this will be
can't just
different.
Let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
It is. She's more sympathetic this time.
Oh, I thought this was all a little too easy.
Oh no, never mind.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart.
This is different. This is so... it's so weird. It's weird how it can be slightly different with the same events.
But the princess dodges.
Yeah.
Wait, she dodges?
I think we were looking at like sort of an action movement. Like a swipe of the blade or her dodging. Yeah, we were like this before. This isn't different. We're some sort of a bird person or a lizard person.
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The blade. Move the blade.
I'm sorry. I can see you're doing your best to resist what's happening to you. I'll try and make this quick.
Well, that could be clothing.
Pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm. You feel her claws on your throat, then her teeth. Somehow
This is
sharp
different.
enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease. You collapse to the floor, your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained red as your blood seeps into the fabric. When she manages to escape from this place and bring ruin to the world, know that it was all your fault. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny that everything goes dark and you die.
But it's not over.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path, you're here to slay her. If
So
you
let's
don't,
see what that
it will be the
changed.
end.
Oh, you bastard. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just met for the first time, you and I. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. We can help her. We just have to find a way. Oh, is there another one of us in here? Help her? Need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago. Sure, and all of us in here definitely believe you. Just stay focused on the task at hand.
Let's try leaving this time. We haven't tried doing it in the second chapter with the doubter and stuff involved.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Excellent achievement. The middle finger is great.
Okay.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Oh, balls, yeah.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you?
You're not emotionally blackmailing me into doing this.
Stakes and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation.
I think
with the
now
princess.
we acquiesce. Well, I don't know. It seems like anything can be different. Ugh.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who has ever lived. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through them. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't
it
just
too quiet?
a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
You're too stubborn for that, aren't you?
What happened to the
Doesn't
downer?
matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
The last time we... Wait, this is new.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Let's see. Let's go with this. You aren't kidding. She actually ended the world last time, didn't she? What the hell is she?
Last I checked, there wasn't any last time. We've just met, you and I.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Yeah, screw this guy. They might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but
I wonder if we get all
I'm sure
three.
there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off.
Still, the world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful.
You are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead. have one last warning for you. She will lie. Maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore them. They're just being difficult for the sake of it.
Well, we don't seem to have the doubter now.
The interior of the cabin is odd, the air smelling faintly of plastic.
We've seen
The
this.
blade is your... If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet,
I for one would rather have it.
I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I...
Okay, last time we were in this situation, we took the
door
blade.
to the basement creaks open, revealing an old... Her voice carries up the stairs. It's This...
What is she?
This is all the same.
I think we'd all like to know. You're playing a dangerous game by coming down here unarmed. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, the form of the prince, she locks eyes with you, one moving a little faster than the other.
Good lord.
Something in her neck bulges, roiling under her skin as she starts to speak, her voice pouring out between her closed teeth.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I had a friend.
Okay, so that was a dead end. Not a new ending.
You're on a path. You're here to...
What have we not tried? Did I leave the knife behind last time as well?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds. Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you. Look, you're already on the path that leads to the camp. While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, causality doesn't matter here, because the end... It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, unless, of course...
Sorry, we have seen all that before.
Does it? Are you a monarchist?
Oh yeah, I didn't do different
As long as you remain
things
focused on your goal.
when we committed before. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm happy, and stayed happy until we got the stupid ending. We could just rush
make
in
your way up
and
the
do it,
short
and then
path
try
to the
to
cabin.
change that part of the
You'll
game.
find the princess. A warning. Before she will lie. We're not gonna go. Ignore him. He doesn't.
It's like, I'm not sure what we can do from this end. We could try to get in a
interior of the
situation where
cabin
we
is almost
engage in
the
more
blade
conversation with
showing
her. We didn't really get much out of that yet.
You take the blade from.
It might be. But it's worth
Her
exploring.
voice.
Who's there?
It's commanding.
Don't let it fool you. It's all past.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors.
She doesn't sound as
Come on
nice
down.
right now.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess.
She's so cold.
Focus on the task at hand.
Are you here to kill me or something?
We'll talk to her next time.
You step forward. Your grip.
Oh? No talking then? I'm probably changed. So, you should.
Do you hear the conviction? She's unarmed. You lunge forward without a moment. You feel flesh easily give way.
Oh, This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
There it is again. That
We're gonna try that stuff.
razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terrifying conviction in her words. Yes, even as... But it's over, isn't it? But is it over?
Oh, we didn't. What did we choose here? We chose, of course it is, she's dead. So, yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah, I was leaning towards 3.
It's over. Don't get all worked up. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you, but that day isn't today. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom? What happened?
This is all the same.
Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll... What's done is done, and there's no going back now. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days,
Maybe we
months,
can't
or
fight this.
years, or even decades. It's all a wonderful... Psst. Hey, we're not just going to stay here forever, right?
Hell no. Do you have any idea how to get us the heck out of here?
I do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
Hell yeah.
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
Anything to get out of this hell.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity
I think we
of
do need to
bliss?
slay the narrator.
You ingrate. Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs. The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die.
Jeez. I love when the narrator's mad. You don't get... Yeah, you don't... It is exactly like a DM. It's exactly like an annoyed DM. Like, okay, fine, you do blah, and then it fails terribly. Also, both of your legs are broken now.
The end. Nice knowing you.
Oh.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will
Have
be
we
the
not?
end
What
of
is
the
that chapter
world.
normally called? We have different options.
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then that's fine.
Ooh.
It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again. Oh, is there another one of us in here?
Huh. Voice of the cold.
I've always been here. I've just gotten a little louder. And I'm ready for all of us to have a marvelous time. Just stay focused.
You trapped me here after I slew her last time. I'm not going to play along this time.
How unfortunate that the sole person capable of slaying the princess also seems to be somewhat insane.
Oh well, so long as you get the job done, it doesn't matter what sort of mental state you're in. I have one last warning. She will lie. You're right. She won't be a problem. I'm not sure I'm a fan of my new roommate. I think there's a lot more to this situation than we've been told.
Uh-huh.
The situation couldn't be more straightforward. Just ignore him.
I guess let's listen to the voice of the cold.
The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only item of furniture
There's also the doubting
is an elegant
voice.
antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge.
So there's a hero, a doubter, a contrarian, and a cold. And then, of course, the narrator. And also, all four of those voices are also the narrator's voice.
Before you have a chance to even think about taking it, the top of a head appears from underneath the floorboards.
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin. And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here?
That's so good. Oh god, that's so good.
A ghost!
Oh, wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed
She
to
does
do
look a
to
lot
us?
like Corpse Bride right now.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, killer. I guess we've got some things to talk about, haven't we? Like how you murdered me?
Ah, okay, so that's our, is that our fourth ending? Is there a list of the endings so we know where how we're doing? Yeah, this game rocks. I can't wait for the full thing. Well, there's 13 achievements, though. Finish the demo with the stranger ending, with the damsel ending, with the specter ending, with the good ending. Does this count as an ending? So we've either got 4 or 5 endings if this counts. No, this doesn't count. So we only have 4 endings. There's still 3 to get. The full game comes out next year. Yes. That's this ending where you use the knife to try to help her. You help her escape. Whoops. I don't Well, you can... If you don't take the knife, it throws the knife at you. Have I looked at the folders of the game? No, I haven't.
You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her.
Okay, so we've done all these exploration things before.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find a warning. We're not gonna go. Ignore him.
I'm going to take the knife and talk to her.
The interior of the blade is your implement.
Because we only have done one path of choices through that.
You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaked. Her voice carried.
Who's there?
It's commanding. Almost as don't let it fool you.
Oh? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs. She's so cold. Focus on the task at hand.
Are you here to kill me or something? How about you drop the knife and the two of us just talk?
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just... Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do.
So last time we
after
dropped the
talk
knife.
to her. Maybe she really is a monster. But killing someone in cold blood...
Either way, I think we're going to get to talk to her.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
Poor thing. Your hands are shaking, are you?
You step forward. Your grip...
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? So, you should just drop it. Best.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? She's unarmed. If you hesitate... You go into this expecting to die. You're going to die.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other? Then I'm not talking to you.
Ah. Hey, Dave. What's up, man? I'll try, oh, well, yeah, they're both interesting, these. I like Squint, though. It's funny. Let's do one. Fine, then. I guess we're at an impasse.
I guess we are.
For the love of everything, just slay her already. Or drop the blade. Do something.
I'm gonna stare at her.
You stare at the princess, squinting fiercely. She squints back.
God damn it.
The two of you are going to do this forever, aren't you? You'll have to blink eventually. Just make a choice. The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Me
Thank
too.
you. Maybe now we can just talk.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed.
I don't think if we get to the point where we can pick up the blade again, that it's going to let me do nothing. But if I can, I will try
We'll be fine.
to do nothing.
I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So, this is a pretty awkward start to a relationship.
What's your name?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness.
Ah, shit, I've done this
Or
before.
Her Majesty.
I didn't remember that.
Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail.
I gotta try something different. A relationship? Are you coming on to me?
Don't jump to any weird conclusions. We're two people who have met each other. By definition, we have a relationship.
Last time we didn't tell her why we were here. There's people out there who think you're a threat to the world. What do you have to say about that?
Don't just tell her that.
Why not?
That's cute. Do you believe that? Do you think I'm some sort of monster? Did they even bother to tell you how I'm supposed to end the world? Because that just doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd be capable of.
We can deflect, that's new. Number 1 here. And number 5, I think, are the most interesting to me. Well, we can always try both eventually.
Princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life.
It'd be very funny if she has an exact response.
She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
I don't think what I do really matters. Look, at the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
Should have said number 5.
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why. That doesn't sound right to me, and I don't think it sounds right to you either. Otherwise we'd be killing each other instead of talking.
She has a point. There's a reason I've been telling you to question the situation, and there's a reason you've listened.
So, I could tell you that I'd lead a quiet life in the woods, or that I'd open an orphanage, or any other number of good things that I'm sure you want to hear. But you don't really know me, do you? What can my word possibly be worth in a situation like this?
She's right about one thing. Her word isn't worth anything.
Like I said, it's all about trust. Blind trust. So, do you trust me, the prisoner, the victim, the princess clearly incapable of ending the world? Or do you trust whoever put me here?
She's wrong. This isn't about trust. This is about risk.
The
We
first
stand
bold
to
word in the
lose
game.
everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Okay, we don't really have... I think we... Well, these are both explorers, but I don't know if we'll get to do both of them. This game's a little bit different from Silent Hollow. I also feel like we've done them.
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. Well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes. She isn't suggesting that she is.
Too long. Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're here.
Oh, sorry. Scarlet Hollow. Silent Hillo. Let's try this one.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for both of us if you help. And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one. I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No one wins here. It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch, no one has to die.
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
Oh.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped her mask, didn't she? You can still turn around and finish the job.
No, we're sticking to the plan and locking her down here.
You'll be the death of all of us, but fine. Have it your way. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade.
Is it that heavy? It looks quite small and light.
Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
This rocks so much.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
Well, we have good choices here. One, two, or three. I suppose we could save Scum, since a lot of this is going to be very samey from here, I feel. Threaten me all you want. All it does is ease my guilty conscience.
These aren't threats. these are promises. Sooner or later, you're going to have to sleep.
This is
And I'll make sure you never see the light of day again.
this is a game where you're always wrong. Every choice you make is wrong, and I love it.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way.
Why aren't we dead?
Where is she?
Thanks for helping
Oh.
me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach.
Yeah, Walker, we only make wrong choices here.
Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
Maybe the narrator really is like the situation with the narrator might be an unreliable truth-telling narrator, if that makes any sort of sense. It's not that he's lying, but that he's just playing a role. Kind of like that whole thing where when we die and come back, he's not aware of the fact that this has happened at all. Right.
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
Is the stream back? Okay, good.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Princess Souls. Lovely. The Nightmare. Now, which achievement was
You're
that?
on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Die at least 6 times across all playthroughs. Okay, so that was not an ending.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
This is new. She's going to kill me again.
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. Are we sure we don't just want to turn around and hightail it out of here? She's going to do unspeakable things to us if we go back there. Oh, is there another one of us in here?
Voice of the Meek.
You're a voice of reason. right? Tell them we shouldn't go to the cabin. Tell them we shouldn't even bother. You are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff that pathetic little voice to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Do we follow then the voice of the meek? We don't have any other new thing to say here. I'm pretty sure we've said all of these things. Oh, it will?
Have one last. She will lie. Oh God, we can't go in there. Do either of you feel sick? Because I feel sick just thinking about that place. We're going to die. You should be careful. There's something very wrong going on here. Ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about. She's just a princess. No reason to get all freaked out. The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only item of furniture is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room.
Doughboilings.
A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway.
Oh, God. Oh, man, what do we do here?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Do we take the knife or no?
No. The basement door. It isn't there anymore. She could be anywhere. It's just a frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. No, what did you do? This isn't how things are supposed to go. She's supposed to be an ordinary princess.
I love the confused narrator.
Quick, the blade.
Okay.
Go ahead and take your little toy. It won't do you any good.
Your legs go numb before you even have a chance to reach for the blade. You
We're gonna die
to
the
the floor
same
as
way.
your lungs seize up, refusing to take in air. No, not again!
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I. I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Everything goes dark, and you die. I'm sorry.
Ooh, apologetic narrator. The nightmare. Okay. Sweet. Five to go. 5 achievements. These are spoilery. They're spoilery. Eight out of 13 achievements. 5 achievements to go. But yes, also 5 endings done. I can spoil them for those who want to be spoiled. I saw one of them by accident already. Can we? Was that an option in the save scum? Where, here? No. We didn't get any options here. Here we go. Oh, the first one die and then leave? But I mean, the autosave will just put us right where we want to be. Yeah, it autosaves.
Seriously? You're just...
Yes, I definitely know where I'm going.
Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. That's strange. You're really keen on waiting. Your silence is deafening. But fine. Turn around and trek back down the path you... Oh, would you look at that? There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now, and here we go. At first, it's... But as you focus on your screen every way, you're too stubborn for that. You've doomed us all. You lose track of just how long you spend aimless...
That did put us on the stranger. What? That's strange. Yeah, we've got 2 left. No! So all of that was an act, wasn't it? You're not really innocent or harmless. You're not even a princess. You're a monster.
I can be innocent and harmless, if I want to be. Teasing me with fresh air and a chance to finally live freely doesn't inspire me to play nice.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to... Where is she?
Thanks for helping.
It isn't all whose side. Yours.
So help.
She steps closer.
What a shame.
Your lung...
I'd say better luck next time.
It can't be. I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. And you...
Okay, that puts us on the nightmare. Oh, these are the only automatic saves we have as well. So we would have needed more save scum. So I think we're starting over again. Load the empty one. Just break the game. No, it's literally an empty slot.
You're here.
Okay, so how do we get on this road? It was the choices that we made once we were down there, right? I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the,
You make your warning. She will... We're not gonna ignore...
one of the achievements that I spoiled for myself by accident.
The interior of the blade.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
The door to the basement
princess is
creaks
safe.
open. Her voice.
Who's there?
It's commanding. Don't let it...
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors.
You walk down. She's... Focus on the task.
Are you here to kill me or something? So, why'd you bring a knife with you?
She makes a compelling... Don't you dare. It's fine. We can... You ignore the trembling in your hand.
Poor thing.
You step forward. You're...
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason. So,
Do you hear the conviction? She's unarmed.
Then I'm not talking to you.
You stare at the princess, squinting. She squints back. The two of you are going to do this for...
Squint at the princess even harder.
You squint even harder.
There we go. Daring contest.
So does she. At least nobody's dying right now. You're going to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever. Eventually, someone is going to have to blink. The blade...
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against your better judgment, we'll be fine. Don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here.
So, this is a pretty awkward start to a relationship. Do you?
Don't just tell her that.
That's cute. Do you believe that? Did they even bother to tell you?
No, and if I'm being honest, I'm more inclined to trust you than I'm inclined to trust them.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We can figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
We could just be totally confusing.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
She dodges?
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to your jaw. It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurts! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Give up? Finish the job? Oh yeah, good chance for scum. Good point. I am scum! I feel like Flea would take us back to, well, I don't know. I save scum, so let's just see what everything does. I give up.
Are you serious? As internal bleeding sets in, the blade falls from your trembling hands, clattering to the ground uselessly.
Fudge, thank you for the biddies.
You lacked the will to finish the job, your bruised and broken body falling to its knees before her. The princess, exhausted, chest heaving with heavy breaths, tosses the blade away from you. This is the end, isn't it?
Look at you. Completely broken. This was fun.
She plants her foot on your chest and pushes you onto your back, the air leaving your lungs in a heavy puff. And then she brings her knee to your throat. She leans into it with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight...
It's too bad. I was looking forward to some company.
This is slightly different, but I think it's the same ending.
Everything goes black, and you die.
Well, we'll see what Chapter 2 says. Ah, the Fury. There we go. We're on track.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
We didn't get a new voice, it seems.
I have one lie. She will lie. It's not her lies that will stop us.
Voice of the broken.
I must admit, I'm a little worried about going back in there. I don't want to be as much of a downer as my new roommate, but we were definitely outclassed last time. She seems more demon than princess.
No, I'm pretty sure the window was always like that.
Ignore them. They don't know what they're talking about. She's... The interior of the cabin is larger than it should be. The only item of furniture is a plain wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
I guess let's scum it up. Take the blade.
You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old wooden staircase.
This is slightly
The
different
steps
too.
are wide and deep. The air seeping up from below is heavy and oppressive, with an odd, eggy stink to it. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
It wasn't eggy before.
Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
It's somehow even fiercer than it was before. Of course it is. Don't let it intimidate you. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall. Is it just me, or is she bigger than last time? It looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought. I told you. It's pointless.
I was wondering when I might have company. Free me from my bindings, and maybe I'll let you live for a while.
The Fury. All right. Now let's investigate scum. Finish the job.
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted.
We're not
You
equal.
probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can at least make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now. Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself,
Are we the
internal
narrator?
bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh,
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
this was fun.
The princess gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would, but I have to wonder. Do you really think this is the end?
Nope.
There it is again. That razor-sharp look in her eyes and the terrifying conviction in her words. But you don't have the time to worry over such things. Everything goes black, and you die.
Oh, still the Fury.
We don't get an achievement or anything different.
You're on a path in the wood.
Scum! No! I'm so glad this one asks. maybe Scarlet Hollow was asking as well, and I was just clicking yes. That's true. Alright, sure. Let's investigate.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
But I already slew the princess. Sure, she also killed me, but I definitely got her. Why am I here again?
I can assure you that you didn't slay her and that she didn't kill you. People don't just spring back to life after dying, and the two of us are meeting for the very first time. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that
We
way.
have proven that we can change paths. I think.
There's nothing we can do to stop her. She's going to kill us again. Oh, is there another one of us in here? If you go to the cabin, you might as well just throw yourself at her feet and beg for mercy.
Well, you're not going to slay her with that attitude.
You are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff that pathetic little voice to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead. You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I have one last warning for you. She will lie.
I just
she will
knew what he
cheat,
was going to say because I've
she
heard
will
it
do
like 10
everything in
times
her
now.
power to stop you from slaying. It's not her lies. I must admit, I'm a little worried. Ignore them. They don't know. The interior of the cabin is larger than it should be. The only item of furniture is a plain wooden table with the blade as your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Wait a minute. No, that's from our last go round. So this is different.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old wooden staircase. Her fierce
Who's there?
somehow even fit. Of course, don't let it into. You're playing a dangerous. Why even bother with the knife? It wouldn't have done us any good. We should just give up and pledge ourselves to her. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, is it just me, or is she... I told you.
I was wondering when I might have come.
It's not different. Whether we take the knife or not, it's the same. The only thing that was different about going through that was that I did more explore options that gave us more dialogue from the broken, but that was probably there before. I just didn't click on any of the explores. Oh, I see. It was inconsistent with other things that happened. Yeah, you are right about that. Gosh, dang it. Flee and lock her in the basement.
Are you serious? It's a good idea. We've taken some bad hits, but we've dealt some too. She has to be feeling it more than we are. Let's regroup upstairs. If we're lucky, maybe she'll just bleed out. Fine.
Ooh,
You make a mad
different
dash
view.
to the basement stairs, the princess's chains rattling as she tries to chase you, but pulling taut much too soon for her to catch up.
Do you really think you can just walk out of here?
She steps towards you, ignoring her chains. They creak and strain as she pulls against them until finally they break. The links clatter to the floor, useless. She's free. Hurry! You push your broken body as she closes in and just barely manage to pass the threshold of the basement doorway before she catches up to you. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once
I think we
held
just
the
changed
blade.
path. But I think we're on
Okay, we can make this work.
the Spectre.
She has an awful wound and we have all the time in the world. Playing jailkeeper
Or
for
Nightmare,
a while
yeah,
might
or
make
whatever.
Things a little easier. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door.
Right.
It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out?
Honestly, I think we had another choice to try here.
It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. Huh? It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the prince. As she violently rattles the door, you do your...
When I get out of here, you don't know the kind.
It doesn't sound like she's... No.
Actually, we've done both of these.
Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention. You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can. Where is she?
Thanks for helping.
It isn't all at once. Whose side are yours, of course?
So help.
She steps closer.
Or maybe what a shame.
Your lung.
I'd say better luck next time.
It can't be. I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. And you...
Right. So now this is the nightmare again.
You're on a path.
Okay. So I think we've dug through all these pretty sufficiently. We could try
You're on a path
to
in
free
the
her
woods.
and then let
And
the
at the end of
narrator
that
force
path,
us to
you're
kill her.
healed.
Because then we're still not killing her.
You make your way up. A warning before you go any further. She will We're not going to ignore him. The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare.
We have
The air is stale
2,
and musty,
3,
and the
4,
floor and walls are
5.
painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture
We
of
still have
note
2 more to get.
is a plain wooden table, perched on the blade. You take...
Oh, I didn't refresh.
The door to the basement creaks open,
1, 2, 3,
revealing
4,
a staircase
5,
faintly
6.
illuminated
Okay,
by
one
an
more.
unseen light in the room below.
And
This
2
is
other
an
achievements
oppressive
than that.
place. Her voice.
Who's there?
It's commanded. Don't let it fool. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock up. She's so focused on the task.
Are you here to kill me or something?
You step forward.
Oh? No talking then? I'm probably chained up in this basement for... So,
Do you hear the... She's unarmed.
thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against will be fine. Don't know what you're hoping.
So, this is a pretty awkward start to a relationship.
You can't. Don't.
I'm guessing you don't have the... Well,
She isn't such. She is.
do you? So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk, but this isn't talking. Oh, have you just...
You know why. You walk up to their large and heavy, far too
If you don't have the key, maybe...
doubtful. Whoever locked the...
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance.
It's a little different. I don't remember her saying it like that.
If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out. Had you attempted to make your way out of the basement? Is someone else here? You make your way back to the bottom. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. The knife. Pick it up.
You won't light. Against you, cut into her. The blade, she didn't so much as utter the princess. How is she so composed?
Thank you. Now let's get out.
No, we won't have any of that. As the princess approaches the bot. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't watch me.
All right, let's do a Scummaroony, because there's 2 times that we had the option to give in. Let's go with number 18.
You bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally. Okay. There's no going back now. Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder, she barely so much as flinches, turning around to stare at you incredulously.
Are you serious? I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
Do you hear the conviction in her voice? Do you see that raise? Before you have the opportunity to make another move, she rears back and hits you with a bone-shattering haymaker.
Is this going to put us back on the Fury?
You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arm up to defend yourself before she hits you again.
Probably maybe not supposed to see this shot again.
Every blow is as punishing as the first.
Yeah, we're back
feel
on the
both
Fury.
if we're lucky.
Too weak to even try fighting back. How
Well-
disappointing.
She places a
Without any
confident heel
options,
on your-
though.
Her knee falls to your throat. You can't just end. I'm sorry. Everything goes dark
Let's see if it gives us a different chapter.
and you die.
No, it's the Fury. All right.
Watch me.
Warn
Stop
her.
that.
Oh. I thought...
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess dodges? Stop it. Stop resist. Thank you.
You're having a good time. What was the Achivo? Oh, I tried so hard and got so far. Did your best to resist, but in the end it didn't even matter. Yeah, Pico and Chu ran in here and then started to have an epic battle right next to me. Good job, buddy. You did it.
You swing your arm towards her throat, the blade singing through the air. But she's ready for you. She grabs your arm, her grip like a stone vice. You drop the blade. Pathetically. She lets go, and faster than you can react, rears back and hits you with a bone. There's a ringing in your ears. You're fairly certain you can feel bone grinding against bone where she fractured your jaw, but your body isn't allowing you to feel much right now. Adrenaline coursing through your system and numbing your nerves. You fall to your knees. You're barely able to bring your trembling arms up to defend yourself before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first. You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you.
You poor thing. I'll go ahead and put you out of your misery.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat. You can't just... I'm sorry. Everything goes dark. And you...
Still the Fury. Excuse me, sir.
You're on a path in the woods. And
You
at
really
the end
thought
of
you were
that
going to get away
path
with that, didn't
is
you?
a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Might be time to resort to looking at what remains here. There's just 2 left. There's the beast and manifesting a gun for my enemy to kill me with? Ha! Okay. Well, we don't have any options that would lead to that from this chapter, so let's go ahead and start over. The beast.
You're on a path in the
Maybe
woods.
if we take
And at the end of that path is a cabin.
all options...
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
that are like,
If you don't,
we're super
it will
excited to
be
slay.
the end of the world.
Is that beastly? You think the beast refers to the hero, huh? Yeah, there. Yeah, when she started to chew her arm off, she did sort of. No, I don't think we can.
Does it? Are you a monarchist? While I am nevertheless, and before you causality, it's no unless.
Trying to pick like hero-y options. Sympathetic to the princess options.
Are you serious? Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go, then each and every... So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us. You make your way up. We're not going to go through with this, right? Ignore him. He doesn't know.
Well, every time we've saved the
The
princess, she just
interior
kills
of the
us.
cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor of the blade is your... You take the blade from the...
Neither of these achievements really
Door to
told
the
us
basement creaks
much of
open,
anything.
revealing a staircase faintly... Her voice.
Who's there?
It's commanding. Don't let it fool you. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs, and she's so cold. Focus on the task at hand.
Are you here to kill me or something?
I don't think I've done... No, nuh-uh. We haven't done 2 either, I don't think.
Well, you shouldn't.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do. The blade tumbled.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just...
Against your better judgment, we'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to...
So, this is a pretty awkward start to a relationship.
We've done all of these before. We can't slay her from here, other than, like, we say we've talked enough. We need the nice princess to get, I think we need to die, actually. Let me do this experiment.
Don't.
I'm guessing you don't... Well,
Her shot. She isn't. She is.
oh,
You know why. Oh, you walk. They're large and heavy.
if you don't have...
Doubtful.
That would be fine.
She speaks. We were stuck down here for long enough. I'm sure we've been on. You attempt to make your... Is someone else... Your shouts and plead. You're here to slay. You try the door. I'll repeat my... You make your way back to the bottom of the stair. Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. Get the knife. Pick it up and cut...
You won't like. Against your... You cut into her. The blade is sharp and you make quick work of it. But she didn't so much as utter us. The princess clutches the wound. How is she so composed after losing...
Thank you.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too... As the princess... Wait, watch me. Stop that.
Oh,
Stop it. The blade. Move.
I'll make this quick.
She knocks your legs out from under you with a swift... When she manages... Can't. As much as I prefer for things... Everything goes dark. And you die. You're on a path. You're here.
So I wonder if we can break out of the damsel ending.
She will love... Yes, don't believe... Did you just say the word... No, I didn't. Just ignore this clap.
Oh, was it? What did it say? Do you mean this? I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu. That's been there forever. The tricks one is also not new. None of it's new.
The interior of the cat... The blade is your implement. You'll... The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a stair... Her voice carries...
Hello? Is someone there?
You're playing a dangerous... It's even more Is it more hypnotizing? I think we're in... For everyone's sake, you're not in love. You walk down the stairs. She's still so... It must have, because she's different. Can't you tell?
You. I remember you. You're going to help me get out of here, right?
Oh. We don't get any options. We don't get to talk to her in that case.
Daughter, her voice.
Hello?
It's even more Is it more? I think we're in. For everyone's sake, you're not in love. You walk down the... She's still so... It must have.
You. I remember you.
Nothing. So that's not the path.
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path, you're here.
Okay.
That's the spirit. You make your a warning. She will... We're not going to go... Ignore him. The interior of the blade. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing her voice.
Hello? Is someone there?
Is hypnotized. Don't let it fool you.
Wait a minute.
It's all part of the manipulation.
Oh, this is different.
How many times do I have
here to
tell
save you.
how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
Here, wait. No, load. Okay, let's do a little Scummerino right here. Okay, so I
How
did
many
this one.
times?
Wait, come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with. She's beautiful. I am begging you to stay.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something like this to happen forever. I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
So this is like the damsel, but it is not the damsel. It's interesting. Maybe she'll talk more in this mode?
Okay.
Or not.
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before
This
she
is all
responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Or they're all going to be the same, but a
Princess
little
her name
different.
Or her title. What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess?
We've taken the dumb path. A whole bunch of new different stuff, though. Hold on a second. Sure. Ugh. Do another one here. So is Princess your name?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
Abe, thank you for the biddies. If I'm the first person you've seen in a while, what have you been eating or drinking? Wow, we have some serious options. Let's try this.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant. Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
Okay. I can't believe they've been keeping you down here like this. I'm getting you out of here.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
Maybe,
I'm
yeah.
guessing you don't have the key?
We have scum.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the...
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempted to make your way out of the basement, but the door
It's
at the
not
top
new.
of the stairs slammed. Is someone else here?
Okay, so we don't have the knife. The door's been closed.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs.
She's still
easier
nice.
For her, easier for everyone. Look at them.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
There's a slight panic rising in the...
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. It's the blade from upstairs. Or we could use it. You won't like what happened.
Oh, we don't have a choice. We can't slay her. It's playing out the same, as far as I can tell, from when we did this before. Like, 2 wasn't new. This has happened before. We saw her chew her arm before. And we had a choice before, though. This is where it's finally different.
Fine. Against your better judge, you cut.
But I feel like this is going to lead to the narrator trying to control us again.
The blade is sharp. Her limb, she didn't so much as... No. She clutches the wound, softly smiling as her gaze meets yours. How is she still
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. As the princess... Wait,
So we're going to
watch me.
resist again.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
Oh. Well, we'll see.
Oh, I thought this was all.
Your body lunges forward. The blade, but the princess dodges. Stop it. Stop. The blade!
I'm sorry. I can
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her armor. You feel her claws on your throat. You collapse. When she manages, it can't just... As much as I'd prefer... Everything goes dark.
No, it's the damsel again.
You're on a path in the woods. And
All right, well, we have scum.
thank you. You turn back to the stairs.
Where are you going? You'd better hope for your own sake that I don't slip these chains before you make it back down here.
Slip these chains. She has to be bluffing, but you rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay, if we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all.
Well, this stuff's new, but I don't know if we're on a different path.
You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago,
Oh, okay.
there's only a severed arm.
We might.
The princess is
we
nowhere
might have
to be
done it.
seen.
We might have done it.
Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Shit. Hello?
Why don't you come closer? I have something to show you.
Is she up there?
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her. Where is she?
Oh. Curious.
As you step towards the severed limb, you hear the pattering of feet behind you, soft against the basement floor, then loud and desperate against the stairs. You turn to chase after the princess, but she's fast and has too much of a lead. She slams the door behind her before you can make it to the top of the stairs. The lock clicks into place. No!
Thanks for letting me out. I'd return the favor, but I think we both know that I can't trust you to let me stay free.
With those parting words, the princess walks away, her quiet footsteps eventually fading as she leaves you and the cabin to rot.
Nice.
You're stuck here, alone.
Yep, we finally freed her.
It can't just end like this, right? As much as I prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. You don't know how much time passes before the end, but eventually it comes. The world ends, and you end with it.
Temporarily. Yes! Let's go.
You're on a path in the woods.
Alright, I am definitely saving the beginning of this.
You're here to slay her. If you...
Oh, we don't have a new talk option, but let's go ahead and do the explorers and see what the new voice is, if there is a new one. I assume there is.
Terrible sense of deja vu. No, you don't have that. This is the first time either of us has been here. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That beast locked us away until the end of time. We're going to make her pay.
It's like a witch finder.
Oh, is there another one of us in here? Good. It seems like your head's in the right place. If you can all just stay focused on the task at hand, the princess will be good and slain in no time at all.
Okay. Oh, don't you worry. I'll gladly slay that princess. She's got it coming. But how do I get the achievement of giving her the knife, though? I guess probably not on this path, right?
Such magnificent gusto. We'll all be in the clear in no time. I have one last. She will lie. He's right, you know. She's a clever one, and determined too. Keep your eyes open and your senses sharp, because we're not going to let her get the best of us again. Ignore him, she's just a princess. Don't overestimate her.
Nope, nobody's good enough for the narrator.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated.
Do you mean in the first chapter?
It feels like
already?
no one has lived here for a long time. Wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only item of furniture is a plain, termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. Yes, do it. Take the blade and make her pay for what she's done. You take the blade from the table. It'd be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement creeps open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to step over a few holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're stepping down into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
It isn't hypnotizing anymore. It's almost feral. Don't let her intimidate you. You carefully make your way down the stairs. As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view, a large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall.
She doesn't seem to be attached to the wall.
She has both her arms again. And she's different, isn't she? The beast is showing us what she really is.
You're the reason I'm still down here. Fiend, monster, betrayer. Nothing will get between my teeth and your throat.
But you got out last time. I'm the reason you got out last time. It's not my fault you're down here. We got the beast. Ah, beautiful. All right, that just leaves manifesting a gun for my enemy to kill me with. Okay. So
You're on a path. You're here.
Ayeti said we just silently go down and we bring the knife with.
You make your way. Warn, she will. We're not going to ignore. The end of the blade. You take the blade from the table. The door to the basement creaks open. Her voice.
Who's there?
It's command. Don't let it fool you. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down. She's so. Focus on the task.
Are you here to kill me or something?
Okay.
You step forward. Your grip on the blade.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason. So?
Do you hear the She's unarmed.
Go towards her by picking the options without any dialogue, and she should threaten you. One.
You go into this expecting to die.
Hesitate.
No, two. Alright, that's okay. It's okay.
I'm positive. I'm not. But we'll keep our eyes peeled. If she has a weapon, she'll have to draw it before she can use it.
Hesitating. Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
Attack. Okay. Yeah, that's been this whole thing, Rudy, is I feel like basically they've taken it down to tiny nuance. Like, not every single thing changes the world, but way more than you expect it to. Way more things change reality than you would think. Just, there's so many, like, little interwoven paths.
You charge the princess, blade in hand, but unfortunately your earlier suspicions proved correct. A blade of her own slips down her sleeve and catches you in the neck.
Gotcha. Yeah. So we basically gave her a knife by just thinking about it.
Blood sprays from the cut, your severed carotid artery painting the princess with strokes of red. You'd better finish your task quickly before you run out of time.
Die. We already got the achievement, so either way, we're done
With
here.
the last bit of your will, you press forward, sinking the blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you collapse on the floor too.
Somehow.
There it is again. But you
So
don't
that's
have the time
the
to worry over
Fury.
such things.
Yeah. And then the other one's probably, well, I don't know what the other one would be. We can find out.
Are you serious? The wound in your neck is too much. The princess stands.
I guess you're.
Everything goes black. And you.
Both Fury. All right. Oh, whoop. My friends, we have done it. We have slayed the princess. It's beautiful. 100% achieves. Got all those achievies. I want pepperoni and a chibi. Yes, we went over a little bit, but it's fine. I know, I can't imagine what the actual game's gonna be like. Like, this is gonna be insane, this game. I don't know how they're pulling this kind of stuff off. Like, it seems just too crazy to, like, manage these sorts of, all these different options. It's insane. And they do just an amazing job with it. I mean, not every single one of them is consequential, of course, but I think the way this one works is that there's all these defined endpoints, and then along the path to those endpoints. Well, I never sat on the title screen for very long. There's no other achievies to get, so I'm not going to sit on the screen for 15 minutes. Unless I talk that long. Podge, thank you for the gift. Sub to Princess is Dead. There's a whole lot of diverging paths that still all either end up going back to the endpoint or branch off to one of those other endpoints. The 7 endpoints. You know what I'm saying? So it's interleaved. They must use some sort of scoring system in, like, various categories. And then based off of what you've tacked up, that's how it decides what chapter you're on and how the one that you're in ends and everything else. It's fun to think about. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Now I'm damn curious about the fucking title screen, but I'm getting out of here because it's quite late. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. It's Gun Day tomorrow. I'll see you for Gun Day. Have a great night, everybody. See you next stream.